Good evening, True Clean Life community. Hope everyone is having a great day. Do apologize, I'm a little late on getting this video out, but I finally got all my notes and everything together. Been a little busy the last few days. Celebrated 18th anniversary with my wife on Saturday, so very blessed to have a wonderful wife and wonderful marriage. But I've got my notes here together today, so I'm going to get this video out here for you on Carnivore for Beginners. As you know, I have been doing carnivore for over a year now, and about 390 days. I've had a lot of success. I've cleared up a lot of medical issues other than losing over 108 pounds. To me, I've said this several times, carnivore is so much more than weight loss. I understand that the weight loss is necessary for a lot of us, and it's very important, but there are a lot of other conditions and elements that can be reversed with this. I have had a handful of people reach out to me the last several weeks asking for some tips and guidance on getting started, and that is part of the purpose of this channel. So I'm gonna run through these here, and we'll wrap this up. So first of all, I'm gonna say if you're going to do carnivore, any kind of ketogenic diet plan, I don't really like to call it a diet. For me, it was a complete lifestyle change. But for getting started, let's not stress. Let's just make a commitment for 30 days. Commit to 30 days. You can do anything for 30 days. After that, if you're not happy, you're not satisfied, and you want to go back to eating whatever you want, go ahead. I'll respect that. But if you're wanting to do carnivore, commit for 30 days. What I would recommend is to keep things simple. We're going to start with BBE, which is beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. You can cook them any way you want. You need to stick with the fattier cuts of beef, and you eat until you're full. And don't eat again until you're hungry. We want to select a good quality salt. I prefer Redmond's real salt. Otherwise, pretty much any Mediterranean sea salt will work. Number 3, in general, you need to avoid milk. Milk has a lot of sugar added to it. Some cheese on occasion is okay for dairy. You can use, don't use pre-shredded, as they add potato starch to it to keep it from going bad and sticking together, but that is not good for our gut system. And it will also spike your insulin levels. If you're going to get cheese, buy the big whole fat block and shred it yourself if you need it shredded. Me, I prefer whole fat. I forgot what kind of cheese I ate. Mozzarella, that's it. My mind went blank. It happens still from time to time. So that's what I prefer. Any cheese is fine. Don't go with the reduced fat. You need the fat on carnivore. We're coming to more of that as well. So number 4, if you are doing ketovore, I would recommend that you pick 2 vegetables, fruits, such as onions and bell peppers, or green beans, cucumbers. And the reason I said fruits is because, as you know, if it has seeds like bell peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers, those are fruits, not really vegetables, even though a lot of us call them vegetables. If you are going to have any fruit, such as berries, I would say stick to fruit that is seasonal in your area. If it is winter time and there is fruit in your local grocery store, it is not seasonal, it is not fresh. I would not recommend eating that. I would recommend, if you're going to have fruit, you get it from, even your vegetables, get it from a local farmer's market. And I would, if it comes to actual fruit, I would stick to more berries, like some raspberries or blackberries, blueberries, things like that, but in very little moderation, as that is still sugar and it will spike your insulin levels. And that can cause your glucose to go up and it can cause it to go down. And you don't want that fluctuation. You want to balance everything. That's the purpose of doing carnivore. So on ketovore, the reason I say to also only pick 2 is because if you're having some reactions, skin conditions, or other issues, it's easier to eliminate if you only have 2. Like, say, if you're doing cucumbers and bell peppers, you can say, maybe I should get rid of one of these. Cut one of them out. See if it clears up. If it clears up, you know that was the one. If it didn't, try the other. That's the reason I preferred carnivore, is it was a complete elimination for me. Now, I did still do coffee for a little while. I still did some seasonings. I have since cut out, for about 5 weeks, I cut out all seasonings other than my Redmond's Real Salt, and I cut out coffee because I was having some inflammation flare-ups with my neuropathy. So I cut those out. I have figured out that I believe that more than anything right now that it is the black pepper that was causing a lot of the issue. I tried a little bit the other day and I got a little bit of tingling back in my arms where I'd been having some issues, so I decided black pepper is not for me anymore. I have added in some other peppers, some bell peppers, and a few other seasonings, some chili powder, red flake stuff doesn't seem to be bothering me. So if you want to use seasonings, that's fine. For the first 30 days, I wouldn't stress on it too much. But if you want to keep it clean and simple, I would say just use salt. So number 4, that was our ketovore. And by the way, if you are allergic to eggs, if you've been diagnosed that you're allergic to eggs, contact your allergy specialist, dermatologist, whoever did your test, and see if they can tell you specifically if it was egg white or egg yolk, or if that is something that would be feasible for them to test separately for you to know. I've heard that a lot of people tend to actually be allergic to egg yolk, and with egg whites, not the yolk, as the test is a mixture of both for the allergy test. So might be something you want to look into, because if you can eat the egg yolks, you want to do that because they have the most nutrients. If you are allergic to egg yolks, I would say just eliminate eggs altogether. Number 5, we want to avoid things that taste sweet, even if it's not sugar. As sugar substitutes themselves, some of them can still spike your insulin and glucose levels. It also will cause you to crave things that are sweet. And that can make things difficult, can lead to a cheat meal. You know, you have that glass of sweet tea or that Dr. Pepper Zero with Splenda or stevia in it, and then you're at Aunt Margie's house and it's her birthday and she wants you to have just one cupcake, you know, and it's going to be hard not to give in to that, especially when you're first getting started. And if you do give in by chance, though, don't beat yourself up over it. just get back on track the next meal. But that's why I say to avoid sweet tasting things. It can lead you to cheat, which can lead you to binge, and ultimately lead you to quit. Really try to commit to that 30 days. And like I said, if you have a cheat meal, you mess up, no big deal. Just get back on track and keep going. Number 6 on the list here, I have make sure you're getting a good amount of fat. We talked about this earlier. You need fat to help burn the stored fat. If you're consuming enough fat, your body will decide that it can burn the stored fat for energy. Later on down the line, when you get close to goal weight, you'll have to add more fat in to have energy, because that will be depleted in your fat reserves that have been stored on your body, which is a goal for a lot of us, is to get rid of that. Also, our brains made up 60% of fat. So if you're consuming enough fat, you will be able to focus and think more clearly. Your brain will work better. There are studies that you can look up and do some research on your own that have showed improvements with dementia, Alzheimer's, and other mental issues such as myself. I had a stroke last year, 2023, and I have reversed 99% of what was the damage that was done by eating this carnivore diet. And I do stick to a pretty high fat percentage. I haven't actually measured out my percentage and tracked it. It was working for me, so I knew I was getting enough. Number 8, a lot of carnivores still have coffee, and that is okay. I had coffee through 90% of my journey, but I do recommend that you have it in moderation. I would say no more than 2 to 3 cups a day. And remember, coffee is a laxative, and caffeine is a stimulant. It is also still a plant. It comes from beans. Beans are a plant. And all plants have plant toxins to some degree. They can affect some people differently than others. Some people, it might not affect you at all. Me, for instance, if I were to have more than 2 cups of coffee, I figured this out a few months ago. If I have more than 2 cups of coffee, I get neuropathy flare-ups in my legs. As where if I had some unsweet tea, it didn't bother me. So, like I said, different people are affected differently by different things. As I mentioned earlier, I also get flare-ups from black pepper. Red pepper doesn't seem to be a problem. So number 7, the fun one, the one that we all fear when we're thinking of doing carnivore, and that's stomach issues, such as diarrhea, gas, constipation. So if you have one of these arise, especially the diarrhea, it tends to happen in the first couple of weeks for a few reasons. One, you're still having the coffee, or you're having something that is still plant-based. So if that happens, really think about it and go, am I doing full carnivore here, or am I still having some plant-based things? And I would consider dropping one of those items to see if things clear up before you start worrying about the other issue, which could be that you're actually getting too much fat. Pretty rare that you get too much fat, but it is possible. So I would just eliminate everything that is not carnivore first before you go adjusting your fat content. Same with gas and constipation. Anything that's plant-based, for the ones that do ketovore and go, well, I'm going to have this snack in a package that says keto on it, that it's keto friendly, you know, it's only 5 net carbs. Well, if you read all of those ingredients, there are some things in there that aren't really good for you, and they have side effects. If you're doing the ketovore and you're having vegetables, clearly there are a lot of vegetables that will cause gas, such as broccoli. If you're doing ketovore, I don't have this in my notes, but I just thought of this. Avoid beans. They have too many carbs in them. I wouldn't even try them in moderation. It's gonna be like potatoes or rice or oats. They cause a lot of stomach issues, and they definitely can cause gas. So I would not do that. Number 8, highly recommend that you get a good source of electrolytes. Please do not use Pedialyte or Gatorade. There are lots of sugars in there, even the one that says 0 sugars. They have other ingredients in there, artificial dyes that have been related to a lot of issues. So, you know, it's affected autism in children. So, and there are studies that are saying that some of those ingredients lead to effects with the mind that could eventually lead into dementia or Alzheimer's. I'm not saying that it causes it, but it can contribute to it. So the 2 electrolytes that I like to use is Salt, SALTT, made by the Keto Chow company. I use that one quite a bit. Tends to be a little bit cheaper than LMNT, Element. You can get them both on Amazon, but both are good quality. Both use good salts and minerals. And you will need this more than likely, as you're taking away the sugars and the carbs, and you can get what is known as keto flu. So you want to use those electrolytes to help you keep from having those symptoms. I was starting to get headaches again, so once I started the electrolytes, that cleared up within minutes. So, which one of my goals was to not take medications, so that kept me from having to take medicine to knock those out. So I definitely recommend good quality electrolyte. You can mix those both with regular water. Some people that are really big into sodas like to mix it with a sparkling water. Kind of gives you the bubbles and that feeling of having something carbonated. So you might want to try that. Number 9, as I've recommended the beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, I would recommend that for the first 2 weeks that you stick to that pretty solid. No other meats, just stick to beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Now your beef, it can be steak, it can be roast, it can be ground meat, it can be hamburger patties, just with salt though. I would really recommend that you keep it that simple. If you want to use some other seasonings, that's fine. I've already explained why I don't recommend that, but if that's what you want to do, that's fine. You can refine things later on down the road. I would say that for the first 2 weeks, we stick to the beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and then after that, we can add in some chicken or fish. Fish is good for you, good source of fat. Fish oils are good for your brain as well, and your digestive system. So after the 2 weeks, feel free to add some chicken or fish in. I would recommend, if it's a leaner chicken or fish, that you add some butter to it to get that fat in. This would also be a good time for you to add some organ meat. Lots of vitamins and nutrients in organ meats, chicken hearts, chicken livers, chicken gizzards, beef as well. Any of those organs, if you like any of them, fix them however you want. Simple way to do a lot of these is I do an egg wash with about a half cup of heavy cream and about 2 eggs. Whisk it up, and then you can dip your meat in there, let it soak a minute, let it drain off a little bit, and then throw it in some pork panko, which is pork rind crumbs. Toss it around, throw it in an air fryer, or deep fry it in some bacon grease if you like, or some beef tallow. Very delicious and very good for you. Number 10, this is important. Go outside every day that you can. Try to go outside for at least 30 minutes. You can even sit in the shade. Even sitting in the shade, the sunlight will reflect off of the ground and you will get some of the benefits from the sunlight. This is great to achieve optimum mental and physical health. So 30 minutes a day, get outside. If you can stand to be directly in the sun, get out directly in the sun. Don't be afraid to take off your shoes and walk around in the dirt and the grass. Connect with the earth. This helps build up different tolerances in our environments. This is a way that we lived naturally thousands of years ago. And then number 11, briefly we'll talk about this. For me, intermittent fasting, that's a big question I get. I don't want you to worry about it. It took me 3 days. I didn't even realize I was doing intermittent fasting. I hadn't looked up nothing about it, didn't really know what it was. I'd heard the name. After 3 days, I clocked out for lunch. I wasn't hungry, so I didn't eat until dinner time when I was hungry. So I eat once a day, and I have been doing that 90% of the time. I typically eat once a day. For your first 30 days, like I said, I would not worry about making yourself fast. We can look into that more after your 30 days. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on my face group. Used to be Arkansas ARK Carnivore. Now I have changed that name today to True Clean Life with Carnivore. This is the page that I've tracked my journey. But now this page is for me to continue sharing my story and to help others. And then also have my YouTube channel, which if you're seeing this, you're probably on my YouTube channel. So I would appreciate it if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, that you subscribe, you like this video, and comment. Please, comments help. Whether you have questions or you just want to say hello, say thank you, or tell me I'm crazy. Doesn't matter. The comments help. And also will put my email address on the links if I can figure out how to do that. Still learning YouTube as far as posting, but it's going to be cookie112879@gmail.com. Feel free to email me there with any questions that you have. I try to check that daily. So I will try to keep up and get your response out within 48 hours. But once again, I appreciate everyone that's here. Please like and share this video with as many people as you can, because that's the purpose of this channel, is for me to help people achieve their true clean life, whatever their true clean life may be, by achieving optimum health, being drug-free, and also using carnivore or a ketogenic plan to help you achieve that. Thank you. Have a great and blessed day.